Moses is an unlikely leader. He is born to the tribe of Israel, the slave nation that's building bricks for the Egyptians. How does he get into the royal house? Well, due to dire circumstances, his mother puts him in a basket on the river. That's probably the story you know most about Moses. And the princess of the Egyptians, comes along and finds him and decides to make him her project. Moses ends up in the palace. He's among the ruling elite. And one day, as Moses is wandering among the people, he sees an Egyptian abusing an Israelite, and something inside him snaps. He murders the Egyptian. And then, of course, he has to flee. So this story takes place probably about 40 years into the future, when Moses is living among the Midianites. He's married a Midianite woman, and he's tending the flocks of her father. As he's out tending the flocks one day, this bush appears to Moses. Moses has evaded his former life, literally ran away from it. He's living peacefully and in obscurity. Does he wonder about his family? Does he wonder about his people? Does he wonder about his God? Of course, we all know that when the learner is ready, the teacher shows up. So is Moses ready? Well, here we go regardless. He isn't the one, as Elizabeth Barrett Browning says in the quote on the cover of your program, he isn't the one sitting there plucking blackberries. He's able to see. He's able to see this bush burning. He's able to get close. He's compelled. He's intrigued. When has that happened to you? When have you been called up short? When has something so stopped you in your tracks that you said, wait a minute, and you weren't quickly distracted by some other shiny thing? Or, as Rabbi Kushner says, falling asleep, you were able to see. You were able to contemplate. You were able to wait and wonder and listen. Moses is able to focus. He responds to the teacher, so God speaks. Take off your shoes, Moses. This right here is holy ground. So let's talk about the bottom of our feet for a minute. I know, ew, right? Did you know there are 200,000 nerve endings on the bottom of your feet that connect to every part of your body, every organ, every muscle, every tissue, every structure, every system connected with nerve endings on the bottom of your feet? No accident that God says, take off your shoes, Moses. Get connected to all that is holy. Get connected again to the planet. Get connected to the creator of the universe. Get connected to the birther of dreams. Get connected to Mother Earth. Understand your connections in the universe. And because we have all those nerve endings on the bottom of our feet, it's why grounding works. You've heard of grounding, right? How many? Yeah, it's why it works. We are electrical beings. And interestingly, in this day and age, all those artificial electromagnetic forces that are in our phones and in our computers, especially when they're plugged in, they feed our bodies with positive electrons, and they cause stress, and they can cause ill health. When we ground, we connect with the earth that has negative electrons aplenty. And there's an exchange that takes place. And there's a balance that occurs in our bodies when we do this grounding thing. Bare feet, in the sand, in the water, on the grass, or hugging a tree with bare hands, or digging in the dirt in your garden, touching your plants. It's healthy. It's good for us. What God invites Moses to do, however, seems beyond Moses. He questions the request. Is it fear, talking, lack of confidence? In a later version of this story in Exodus, Moses suggests that he has a speech impediment. How can he go talk to the Pharaoh of Egypt when he's got this thing going on? And God says, okay, you want to make a bargain? I'll send Aaron with you. Aaron, your brother, he knows how to talk. He can talk well. He'll go with you. No excuses, Moses. Moses pushes back against God just like we do when we're experiencing a burning bush, a reawakening, a new calling, a new push-pull. We don't want to mess with our comfort or the comfort of others because, the outcry when you change things up. We have all kinds of excuses when there are opportunities, but it affects our satisfied, predictable lives. Moses wants a verification. Who are you that people will listen to you? And that's a profound statement, especially listening to it in Stan's voice. I am who I am. How do you get beyond that? Well, in Hebrew, the words are actually, I will be who I will be. It's a future orientation. And this one who is speaking says, look at my past. Look at who I've stood for. Look at who I've taken care of. Look at who I care about. This is who I will be. The Israelites will hear because they're being oppressed. They're in slavery. They will know, I will be who I was. I will be that in the future. This is the one to whom we are connected when we are invited into this space, to any space where we meet creation, where we meet each other, where we meet the Holy One who cares for the outsider, invites us as outsiders to be included, and then to reach out to other outsiders, to bring them into the community. Dan and I had a unique opportunity to be connected to a special piece of land. The Michigan Conference United Church of Christ owned some land just outside of Traverse City, 20 acres, a little bit more. We gathered some folks together from the community to ask what is needed. And we heard over and over again, housing, 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 housing. We said, well, let's not use this land for a cathedral then. Let's build some houses. We began to plan for a housing complex. We partnered with Habitat for Humanity and began to put the pieces in place. And the next winter, after we did this kind of query of the community, I was at a water blessing seminary of the Anishinaabe tribe at the casino. We were each invited, I'll bet there were 2,000 people there. We were each invited to come up and be blessed by the water carriers, who are the women of the tribe. So we walked forward and we received a blessing, and we could drink water if we wanted to. And I had a burning bush moment. I was stopped up short. We had never asked the land whether this was a good thing for us to do, to build housing there. The land had been cornfields for at least 20 years. We knew that. Decimated by herbicides and pesticides and a single rotation crop. We thought we were doing a good thing, but we had never asked. So I began looking for people among the tribe who could help us listen. There were two women who came to our attention, and on a blustery, sunny winter day, temperature was freezing. Some of us from New Waves gathered, and Joanne and Maribel did a land listening session with us. They set up a little altar-type area with a blanket and some feathers and rocks and some water. And then Joanne and Maribel walked to the perimeter of the property, deliberately, methodically, ceremonially walked the property, humming, chanting. You could see the feathers they were holding. And when they got back to the altar area, they asked us, "What are your intentions for this land?" And we said, "We think we want to build houses here. We want to create a community here where the church can serve, where people who have housing insecurity and or are homeless can have a safe place to live. It's close enough to the town that they can be engaged and get jobs. We want to create a little community here. What do you hear the land saying?" And they said, "The land is happy. The spirits of this place, including Mother Maple, who stands on one lot line, and the giant firs that protected the land from the farmer's house on the other lot line, the trees are happy. They're happy that you're going to provide a community that will honor the land, that will protect the land." It was a remarkable moment. If you want to know more about that, you can go to New Waves Day. We are headed into the beauty of fall. Tomorrow is the equinox, the day when the day and night are the closest in time. And we'll be heading into even more beauty than what you already see as the trees change, the leaves fall, the winds blow, the air chills. I invite you in the moments of this season to watch, to wait, to listen, to stop, to wonder, how is God speaking to me anew?